Right now, as you watch this video, you probably have a grand vision for your life. A tech startup that disrupts the market, financial freedom in your 20s, a lifestyle that matches the top builder you follow online. You have thought about it 1,000 times. You have planned the entire journey in your head. But let me ask you a brutal question. What did you actually build today? Not what did you plan, not what did you watch, but what did you execute? Because the hardest truth of modern life is that the world is overflowing with brilliant dreamers who are completely paralyzed by their own vision. It's a pattern so many of us fall into. We sit in our rooms, scroll through social media, tracking AI advancements or watching startup documentaries, feeling an intense rush of excitement. And we tell ourselves, next month I am launching my product, next week I am mastering this tool. In our minds, we are already successful, and here is the psychological trap. Your brain cannot easily distinguish between the dopamine release of fantasizing about success and the dopamine release of actually achieving it. When you spend hours imagining your future success, you get the emotional reward without doing any heavy lifting. We become addicted to the feeling of potential. We stay stuck in an endless loop of consuming content, buying courses, overthinking every single variable, and waiting for the perfect moment to begin. But while you're waiting for perfect alignment of motivation and perfect market conditions, someone with half your intellect but twice your execution speed is already launching an imperfect version of your dream. The biggest myth holding you back is the idea that you need a flawless blueprint before you take the first step. You think, if I don't know the exact business model or the full architecture of my project, how can I start? But here is the reality. Overthinking creates confusion, action creates clarity. You cannot create a product or a successful career just by thinking. You have to build your way there. When you take even the smallest action, you generate real world feedback. You discover what actually works, what fails, and what needs immediate adjustment. To shift from a dreamer to a builder, you must stop focusing on outcomes and start focusing entirely on systems. And outcome is a dream, like reaching a specific revenue milestone or building a massive audience. A system is a repetitive daily process, like writing 50 lines of clean code every morning at 7 am or making 3 outreach calls every single day. If you completely ignore the grand outcome and focus solely on executing the daily system, the results take care of themselves. Stop staring at the peak of the mountain, just focus entirely on the single step right in front of you. Let's address the biggest excuse we use to protect our comfort zone, which is, I just don't feel motivated today. If you only build when you are inspired, you will never build anything. High performance builders do not rely on motivation, they rely on discipline. Motivation is an unreliable spark. Discipline is an engine that runs whether it's shining or raining. So how do you build this engine? Through momentum and small wins. When an ambitious goal feels overwhelmingly massive, your brain naturally seeks an escape route, which usually leads straight back to mindless social media scrolling. You need to lower the barrier to entry. Do not tell yourself you are going to work 8 hours straight. Tell yourself you will sit down and focus intensely for just 15 minutes. Once you clear the initial 15 minutes hurdle, momentum takes over and the psychological friction vanishes. And remember this fundamental law of execution. Consistency will always beat intensity. Doing a chaotic 12-hour sprint once a week and then burning out completely is useless compared to putting in an unshakable, focused 2 hours every single day, 365 days a year. The compound interest of daily execution is exactly where empires are built. So how do we apply this to your life right now? By implementing a simple daily execution framework. First, identify the single most important action that actually moves your goal forward. If you want to start a venture, the most important action is not designing a perfect logo, brainstorming catchy business name, or editing your social media bio. It's reaching out to potential users or building the core prototype. Find your most important action and do it first in the morning. Second, aggressively alter your consumption to creation ratio. Right now, the vast majority of ambitious young people are 90% consumer and 10% creator. You watch 3 hours of coding or business tutorials but only build for 20 minutes. Flip that ratio entirely. Spend less time watching others and spend more time making your own mistakes. Build a flawed app, write an imperfect script, launch a messy landing page. Just get it out into the real world. The reality is incredibly simple. Success does not come from having bigger dreams than everyone else. It comes from taking more action than everyone else. Everyone wants the freedom, the scale, the wealth and the impact, but very few are willing to fall in love with the unglamorous, repetitive, daily, boring work that actually produces those results. If you have been stuck in the dreamer's loop for months, let's today be the exact moment to break it. Stop planning, stop overthinking, close this video, open a blank document or open your workspace and build something right now. If you are fully committed to make that shift from a dreamer to a builder, subscribe and join this community right now, and drop a comment below telling me the one single action you are going to take today to bring your vision to reality. Let's stop dreaming and let's start building together. See you in the next one. Till then, take care. Bye bye.